Day three. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Well, I hope you're feeling great, or at least you start taking off layers in order ordering things. So today we're talking about water. What are some of those daily habits that you are putting into your soil? We have the soil, values are the seeds that we talked about yesterday, and water are these daily tasks, these daily thoughts, these daily repetitive actions that we do oftentimes unconsciously because they're habits, and sometimes consciously because just of our context. It just takes us there. The key with habits is that when we leave them unchecked, when we just don't see exactly what's going through our heads, creating silence and solitude to see what's going through our spaces, have you stopped to think about, are the majority of the thoughts that you have during the day, are they positive or negative? Are they critical towards you or towards others? How are you feeling most of the day? Are you in tension for everything? Are you trying to control everything? What are you doing daily that's creating who you are? The thing is, the version of me today, who you're seeing today, is the product of the last 10 years and maybe the last 15. Today is the product of the last 15 years. Can you imagine that? So if I'm not investing today for the next 15, there's no way that I'm going to reap what I actually want out of my life, because if I don't change some habits, if I don't make some tweaks along the way, I simply won't get to the next level of where I want to be. So what are some of those habits that you have in your space, that you have in your headspace? So when we think about water and we think about daily habits, one of the things that I find most important about this is taking ownership because at the end of the day, the watering, we're doing the watering. I'm the one that's perpetually thinking about something. Yeah, it's an automatic thought, but it didn't start like an automatic thought. I've just let it seep in to my lifestyle. I've just let it seep in to how I interact with myself or others. I've just let it seep into my modus operandi. So taking ownership of what I'm doing on a regular basis is so important. Many years ago, I had a dear friend, dear friend. Yeah, I don't know if you remember the sitcom in the US, Will and Grace. These pair of friends, she had a gay friend. In my case, my friend wasn't gay. Let's call him Mark. He wasn't gay, but we did everything together. I mean, we went shopping together. We talked on the phone for hours. We shared each other's love lives and, things that were going well or not so well. We gave each other advice. It was fantastic. I loved him dearly. I still love him dearly. We even moved across country at the same time. So our lives were really parallel and really united in a season of our lives. And things of life that happen, friendship, 6, 7 years of friendship. I love playing matchmaker. I love playing matchmaker. It's so much fun for me. And in one trip that I was going out to see him, I had taken many trips out to see him. I tell a friend of mine, let's call her Susan, that I was going to go see Mark. And I've spoken to both of them about each other before, because I think we would all hit it off really well. And so as I planned the trip to go see Mark, I told Susan, hey, why don't you come along? If you're free, the tickets aren't really expensive, but let's go out to see him and we'll crash with Mark. It was a fun, long weekend. So fun. We went out, museums, eating out, clubs, everything, the full slew. And one night, I went out to see a friend of Mark that I already knew because I had seen him. I've been in town to see him several times, and I just let them go out on their own. And the next morning, we all just caught up for breakfast and chit chat around the table. They had fun at the club, whatever. And I went to see that friend. Anecdote on seeing that friend. That friend, I went to see him and I decided to wear a sexy girdle. A girdle, I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but it's the typical Bavarian, Germany, the Bavarian outfit that's worn on Oktoberfest. So this was a sexy version. So I go surprise this friend with my sexy version of this trench coat and girdle underneath. The friend almost laughed in my face. I mean, he was this close to laughing in my face. Needless to say, I didn't see him again. So the next morning, we were all having breakfast together, and it seemed they had a fun night. That there was, just they went out to a club for some drinks and so forth, and we were heading out. I mean, she and I were both flying out that afternoon. Cordial conversation, everything seemed normal and swell. Several weeks passed, and the next day, I thanked him so much for his hospitality, taking us in, and just showing us the city, which was so fun. Our conversation, our dynamic seemed to be the same. However, weeks passed by, and in the mail, I received an 8-page, what I call divorce papers, an 8-page letter from him, from Mark, 8 pages, as to all the reasons why I wasn't good for him, um, that he didn't want me in his life anymore, that I was a false person, that I was not transparent, that I, lacked vulnerability, and just 8 pages of this. I was heartbroken. I literally just sobbed when I finished the letter. I couldn't bring myself to reading it twice, so I just tore it to pieces and threw it out. And in the letter, he said, "Please don't reach out to me ever again, ever again." From Will and Grace, basically attached to my left hip, or my sensation was he was attached to my left hip, a person that at that moment in time in my life knew me better than anyone. To receive that letter, I was served divorce papers in the worst way possible. Completely heartbroken. Funny enough, Susan tells me, "Hey, Steph, I think we need to take some time off, like just some distance, and I need some distance, some space to think about my things, and yeah, I just need some time away from you." And I thought, what the hell just happened here? Obviously, my Cupid attempts turned against me badly, but the thing that was key for me there is that I had to take ownership for what was actually my doing. What did I do? Maybe I, obviously, from a logistics standpoint, don't ever try to set friends up on a long weekend. That's too much time. No one should have that much time, ever. If anything, let's all just meet up for coffee or for drinks, and whatever happens, happens, and people just casually see if they click or not. But never again a long weekend. But on the more important side is maybe it was premature for me to try to set up basically my best friend without having some conversations as to, could there be anything between us? Maybe to discard that fully before forcing the situation on them. My friend Susan did take her time, and we did reconnect again. And we talked about that situation, not in detail as to what happened, more about where she was at that in her space and time, and what process she was going through. And I've not ever delved into that weekend, just to not push any buttons and provoke anything else. But I had to take ownership. I did part of that. I possibly wasn't being vulnerable enough with my friend in terms of, "Hey, I love you dearly. I love you dearly, but maybe I don't think we're compatible long term, or at least right now. And I would love to introduce you to people." Or simply to ask him, "What do you think about us? Should we give it a try?" Or we had never done anything that we were strictly friends. And to this day, I'm still confused and taken aback by that situation. But ownership is really difficult. Ownership is really difficult because it means I have to be responsible. I have to say, this is mine. This is mine. And I have to own the fact that I lost a best friend for my whimsical desire to be a matchmaker. I lost a best friend. I mean, I got divorce papers. I was devastated for weeks. I lost a best friend because of my whimsical desires. So owning that and trying to learn from that is really important. It's part of us being adults, of owning our shit. I'm a minority. Or I have had these experiences that have shaped my worldview, but taking responsibility for them versus pushing the responsibility away is the most empowering thing I can do. It's the most empowering thing any of us can do. When we do that, we take life by the reins and we say, I want to go there. And we go there. We don't just, oh, it's because of the economy. It's because of this. It's because of this law. No, I go there, period, because I take ownership, regardless of what it's going to take me to go there. But I go there. So we just need to take a great deal more ownership today. So key takeaways today for this layer of water, this layer of our daily work that we're doing literally by second, by the minute. We're doing something daily that's perpetuating a cycle, it's perpetuating a habit, it's perpetuating a way of being in our lives. Key takeaways, just three. Self-responsibility, ownership, what we've been talking about. Just own it. It's yours. Whether it's good or bad, own it. The sooner we own it, the sooner we can change it. If I don't own it, I cannot change it. So let's not push off responsibility. Two is tenacity, grit. We have to be tenacious. We have to push through. We have to just delve into things and just push through. I want to go there, then I'm going to go there. You better watch out because I'm going to go there. So that process of just writing our lives based on these values, based on this direction that we want to go, and taking it full force. Obviously, the 3D world is complex. It's complex for all of us. It doesn't matter what layers we have or don't have, or what circumstances we were born into or not. It's complex for everyone. So go there. If you're sink your heels in, right? That's the expression, sink your heels in and go there. And lastly, self-management. Self-management. That means I need to manage my emotions. I can't just go off the whim. I can't just start crying all over the place. I need to manage this. And obviously, the more I know my body, the easier it is. The more I know my personality, the easier it is. Finding these little triggers, turn things off or on, the easier it is. But since these are daily tasks that we must do that shape everything that we are from now to the next until we die, being conscientious of the process will make it all the easier to get to where we want to go. So where do you want to go? What are you doing daily that you want to tweak to help you go somewhere new? See you tomorrow.